Hello, so today we're going to be going over an Akali game. So Akali has been kind of creeping up as one of the more meta or good comps on the current patch. So I thought it'd be fun if I did a VOD review of one of my offline games where I was going and playing around Akali here. So looking at this spot, it's starting out with Silver Augment. Looking around, a lot of people seem really strong. Band of Thieves is okay. It is loot sub, by the way, the encounter that we're playing in. So I'm trying to keep that in mind of, like, you know, playing around the loot that I get. I'm kind of thinking about Pandora's here. I just really don't like Pandora's because I feel like you just lose a lot of combat power and value. But especially if I'm playing around Akali, Pandora's is really good because her items are very specific. So that's why I'm leaving it open. I'm not rolling it first. I see table scraps. So next two carousels, you gain a champion that wasn't taken and you gain 1 gold to start, which is pretty good because I should have some extra sauce with having a full bench of units that I can sell. Then I roll Pandora's. I'm debating between Band of Thieves and table scraps. The way that I look at it is that I'm looking at my items. I don't really like them, right? If you look on the left side, I have a bow, a belt, and a chainmail. So I'm thinking to myself, what do I do with those shits? So I'd rather just take table scraps. And in my head, I'm thinking like there'll probably be a tank item left over by table scraps. I'm probably going to lose a lot of these early couple rounds. So what my goal is I'm going to use the bow. I'm going to make an offensive item. And then I'm going to use the chainmail. I'm going to make a defensive item with table scraps. I'm going to be having a power spike of 2 completed items after the carousel round. And I also get the extra gold from the extra champion that I get. So I'm kind of down to do that. The loot sub doesn't seem like anything scary. But also table scraps gives me the opportunity to have more components, especially if I have to play around a spat or to make an emblem. So I decided like maybe I'll do that as well. Also, I usually have face cam on this channel. I can't get it to work today. It's like broken. It broke after I finished streaming today. I was playing some Silk song. I don't know why it doesn't work, the camera. So that's why the little talking dogs on this channel as well. But you know, there's some cohesion now. At least people know it's both sides. Here I have this Kog'Maw, by the way. I don't have Kog'Maw items. I'm probably not leaning Kog'Maw. And there's another person who has Portable Forge. If they hit like one of the Kog'Maw Portable Forges, I'll just be contested. Now it's fine because Kog'Maw's bugged, so like multiple people can hit Kog'Maw 3 very easily. But I'm not really like inclined on playing around Kog'Maw. I'd much rather like structure my board in a better way and maybe play around like either Star Guardian or like if I have enough tempo to play around some of the other 4-cost lines. Patch kind of sucks in my opinion, so it's a little bit hard to decide what to play. In the back of my head, I'm always thinking about Akali here as well, because I do have the Nashers. With Akali, you want double Nashers and another glove item, usually QSS. So I already have 1 Nasher, so in my head, I'm always keeping in mind, okay, if I somehow make it to double Nashers, I can just play Akali from this spot. And I also have the Aatrox upgrade, which means I might want to play Aatrox because that board, like, you play mech with it, so it fits in really nicely. So I'm definitely, like, considering that line of thinking. Here, you know, last time I didn't make my board well. I have an Aatrox too. I should have played a Juggernaut last turn. That's my bad, of course. Definitely my bad that I should have optimized the board a little bit better last turn. Okay, so this guy, a little bit scary because I see a QSS slam. So I don't know what he's playing, if he's going to be playing Akali as well. Because with the QSS, if he just decides to make a Nashers, he also took healing orbs, which is generally good for melee style carries. But at the same time, he could also just be playing Samira or some other bullshit. And he could also be playing tempo with the Gangplank. But here, make 10, right? We make econ always. Just make sure that we have our econ going. And then once we have our econ going, then we can, basically the world's our oyster. We'll figure out what we have to play. Here I hit a Gangplank. So hitting the Gangplank, I'm down to just put in Mighty Mech. My Nick is relatively strong, and I can usually streak with it, so it's just something that's good. It can help me win a couple rounds, or at least not die by as many units, because I have a whole extra unit that can do some damage, or act as a carry. And then here, I'm going to fruit the Aatrox. I'm taking Corrosive here, just Shred and Sunder. Mech Pilot is kind of like a meme at this level. Max Vitality is also a meme, like who cares? I'm not trying to scale the Aatrox, and it's not going to give me value right now. So Shred and Sunder, and try and play around this is at least my main goal as of this exact moment in the game. On carousel, like I said, I want to take something that kind of sets me up for offensive components, and then I want to take something else that like I'm hoping that the remaining component will be able to make a tank item, because I'm going to get the last unit and the last item to make one extra thing if possible. Right, so that's my plan going into it. This round, we're going to kill one extra unit here because Lucian's really great, right? Amazing unit, Lucian, in early game. So 2 unit loss, pretty good. 87 HP, right? We're on 3 loss, but we're not even the lowest HP player in the lobby. That's great for us. And here's where I kind of want to turn it around. I don't necessarily care about 5 lossing, but 3 loss is good. Set up the econ, set up the bank. But then after this, I want to try and like establish some level of power. Here, I was thinking of taking the bow and making a red buff. I wasn't sure what to take, so here I just end up taking a glove. Now this goes a little bit outside of my game plan, right? Remember I said that I wanted to take an item to make, I want to take a component to make an item with the bow, and then I was going to get a leftover tank item that I was going to make an item with the chainmail. However, I kind of panicked because I don't want to make a Guinsu, right? So I don't want to take Rod. I should have maybe taken Sword, and I could have made a Giant Slayer. I think that would have been the most flexible slam. But part of me wanted to keep Akali open. Like, I still want to ride that line of potentially playing around Akali. So I didn't want to take Sword. If I got Rod, if I got the tier, that's what I really wanted. I was going to make Shiv. I'm pretty happy with making Shiv early. Just because it's just, then I just know that I'm playing around some sort of AP. And I would have just played it around the Lucian. And then I can either play Akali or Mech, because eventually you're going to want to make a Shiv anyways. It's loot sub, so I'm probably going to get extra components. So I would have been more okay with that. But if I have to pick between Giant Slayer and Nashers, I feel like that's a little bit more risky. Anyways, the extra component that I get is a Bramble. So I still make my tank item. You might ask, why not Sunfire? It's just not that good. It's just a worse item late game. I'd rather make like a Morello or a red buff in a lot of the comps that I would want to angle. Bramble is just very good early game. In early game, like, not only is it good against AD units, right? It obviously gives you a lot of armor. But early in the game, units don't get a lot of power in their ults. They don't have items that multiply their ults. They don't have items that make them, like, hit like a truck instantly. So a lot of the damage is auto attack damage, which is AD, right? No matter what the unit is, they're going to be doing a lot of auto attack damage. So it's going to be really hard to chew through a unit that has a bunch of armor. That's why the Bramble Vest augment is a really good win streak augment. So I'm totally down. It's just way better to slam a Bramble. Even if the lobby isn't predominantly AD, it's pretty good. Now, obviously, I scouted a little bit, and it looked like most of the lobby was AD, so Bramble's going to be good later in the game. But with 2 chainmails on bench, I definitely want to make that. The only other thing you could have done with the glove as well is you could have made 2 tank items. You could have gone like Sunfire and Steadfast. But like I said, I want to keep some of these components open until I decide whether or not I'm playing Akali. That's kind of how I'm trying to play this game, because there's not many comps I can play. If I have a lot of tempo, I can try and play towards Mech. Obviously, that's a line that could win out very easily, and it's extremely powerful. Or I could try and play around like Sorks, or I can try and play around Yumi. Like, those are all valid lines, like, on the AP side. On the AD side, you're pretty much always leaning towards Jinx or a reroll line if you have the option for a reroll line. So, of the options, I'm kind of just still meandering a little bit. I'm hoping that I can figure it out after. This guy, Latent Forge, I was worried this guy was going to pivot Kog'Maw. That's why I wasn't super dedicated towards playing Kog'Maw. But now Kog'Maw's open. It doesn't matter that I sold my Kog'Maw already. If I really need a reroll out, I could just go back to playing Kog'Maw, because it's very easy to hit him because the shops are bugged, or the pools are bugged for Kog'Maw, like the monster trainers in specific. So it's very easy to just like instantly hit the units even if you don't have any at the start of the game. But I'm scouting a little bit. I'm trying to see this guy with caretakers and his setup, if he's going to be angling towards Akali. And then also I'm looking at this Robin at the bottom, the person that's lose streaking, and I'm trying to figure out if that person is angling Akali. With the Darius gives heavyweight, and it makes me really strong. You're gonna notice that I'm gonna win streak throughout most of the rest of the stage, because I have an Aatrox with the Bramble Vest, has double synergy active, Juggernaut, and heavyweight, so this unit's a little bit hard to chew through. I have Shred and Sunder, and the Aatrox takes less damage. That's like his whole corrosive thing that he has going on. And then additionally, I have all my boards synergized really well. I have Udyr, which gives my whole board the Mentor bonus. I have Duelist in for Gangplank. And then I also have Darius, which just does a shit ton of damage, right? The Darius is just an absolute monster. Very, very good at just like, boom, just like hitting everybody for a shit ton, especially early game. So I'm kind of down for all of that. Here I get a lucky item chest, which makes things a little bit more confusing. I have to, basically, I'm going to rip this item chest on somebody, see what item I get, and then I'm probably going to pivot or decide what I'm playing based on that. This guy, I'm hoping he kind of plays Jinx or maybe Mechs or something, because he looks like he's more angling Mech than Akali with those item slams, because he has 0 Nashers, and I think that's like a critical, important item. And then obviously here I'm just trying to figure out what I do with these components. I reforge a chainmail because I think that I have good opportunity to make something else without, like, you know, make something separate from that. And then I didn't use my lucky item chest because I'm bad at the game, and I just took too long on this round. A better player, I would have ripped the lucky item chest on the Lucian. With the rip on the Lucian, I would have then seen what item I get. Lucian has a chance of getting a Nashers, so I just want to use it on some sort of AP unit, because I think my items, especially after the reforge with the Tear and the Rod, I think I can make some pretty good AP items, right? I can always go Shiv, JG, and I can play around Yuumi from this setup, even though I don't have like a Yuumi spot right now. I could also play around Sorks, like I said. I can play around Mechs, because Mech usually stabilize around Karma, if you're not already instantly like 7 Mighty Mech. So we'll see. Here, Epoch isn't the greatest of augments, just because it doesn't give you that much gold or that much value for what it is. But looking at the other options, Ascension is just like whatever. You don't take that really unless you have a very specific setup for it. So I just take Epoch here. Just because I'm unsure if I'm going to be contested. There's 2 people in the lobby that look like they may or may not be playing around Akali. At the same time, they're undetermined, so I don't know if they're going to be playing around other AP lines, which makes it a little bit awkward for me. I think that there's already enough Star Guardian players that it's going to be really awkward for me to play around Star Guardian. But then, like I said, I rip lucky item chest and I hit the Nashers, so now I can make double Nashers. I have basically the cornerstone of Akali best in slot, or like what makes her really good on the current setup or the current patch. So I have the main setup. Now I just slam everything. Or mostly everything, right? I make Morello because Morello's great. I have the extra belt, so I can do it. Now I have anti-heal. Currently I have Shred Sunder because of the Aatrox fruit, but that will change eventually. And I just slam all the Nashers on this Darius. If I get a better backline carry, it might have been better to put on the Lucian, actually. But I just figured that Darius does a lot of damage. He can make use of all the belt items a little bit better. But, you know, I don't know who to put the Nashers on because I don't have an Executioner in right now. So it's fine. We're going to skip ahead a little bit. Here I find a Yuumi, right? Yuumi is just does a lot of damage, even if you don't have much of the synergies. So I'm just going to play the Yuumi. I'm probably going to sell this Darius, so I don't have to use a remover. Even though Darius 2 is great and will obviously like make my board a lot stronger. I don't want to waste a remover because I'd rather keep the removers for later. Because this, with these type of comps where you have like these very weird items, it's very likely that you're going to need all the removers later. So, you know, it's not like something obvious. Like, you know, if I had an Akali, I could use the remover because I know I'm going to put that item on the Akali, you know, and then they're never going to be on a different unit. You know what I mean? Like, then it makes more sense. But, like, when I'm in these mid-game scenarios, like, I'm not going to wait out to hope that I hit Darius 2. I'm just going to sell the Darius, save the remover, set myself better for late game. Yuumi's also great because she scales as the fight goes on, right? The longer she's in the fight, the more pages she shoots. So with a board like that I have, where I have all these frontline units just kind of wreaking havoc, this Yuumi is usually going to be able to scale up and do a bunch of damage. So here, ideally, I want a cloak, because the cloak is going to make the QSS for my Akali. If I can't make the QSS for my Akali, then I'm going to be in a little bit of an awkward spot. I kind of sell into the Akali, like I said, because I hit the double Nashers. So now I'm just hoping I'm not contested by the other players. Cloak is gone, but Cassante is on the carousel. I don't know what kind of lobby I'm playing where people don't take Cassante off carousel. This is just a testament of me maybe losing too many games in a row because I'm tilted because I don't like the set. And it just makes me really sad because like this would never happen in a lobby where people are like on the ball. Like, Cassante is one of the best units in the game, and he fits in on, like, half the comps in the game as being one of the best tanks in them, right? Even Star Guardian plays Cassante, so it's like the Star Guardian players didn't take it, the other Akali players didn't take it, the Mech players didn't take it. It's like, why is nobody took Cassante? That's crazy. So, you know, whatever. More Cassante for me, I guess. So, he's definitely going to make it on my board somehow. So here, I'm just going to level to 7. I'm going to try and set myself up for a win streak because I feel like I'm pretty strong. This guy now, I see his items, QSS and Nashers. He made a Crown Guard, which is usually okay on Akali, but it's not good on the current Akali builds because it just like, it doesn't function well. So, you know, but I know he's playing Akali for sure. And this guy is good for something, Healing Orb, so he's definitely going to try and angle it. So good thing I took Epoch. This is why I took Epoch, just in case somebody ends up trying to contest or being in a similar spot as me. You really don't want to play Akali contested. But then I also don't understand why this guy didn't take Cassante. Because, like, it's loot sub anyway, so his items should work out. But whatever. I'm just up a Cassante against my contester, which is just good for me, I guess. So, you know, hopefully that happens in your games as well, so you have a little bit of an easier time. In terms of my extra components, as you can see, I have the I have a TG lined up. I just don't want to necessarily slam it right away unless I have to. If it turns out to be like a fight difference, I might slam the TG. But I want to keep one of these open just for QSS. The Akali getting stunned, you can instantly lose a fight. So having the stun immunity with the QSS is just so good. So I just want to make sure that I can prioritize that. I get my second fruit. I use it on the Yuumi here. And we're basically gearing up to 4-1 it. I'm going to have a decent amount of rerolls where I'm going to have 6 rerolls. So I'm going to have enough gold to level on 4-1 and then send it, like, not to 0, but enough until I find, like, stability, like 1 or 2 copies of my units. Because if you're contested, you want to make sure that you try and roll ahead of the other players. That way, you're rolling, like, uncontested, right? Like, I'm contested now in theory, right? There's another player that's going to want to play Akali. But if I roll before they roll, I'm not rolling while contested. I'm rolling uncontested. I'm just looking for my units as if nobody's playing Akali, right? They're all for me. So that's why, like, you want to try and roll a little bit earlier. But at the same time, you're griefing your own econ because you're losing turns of interest that you could use to optimize your rolling for the sake of trying to, like, you know, snipe out the copies of the units you need before the other person hits them. But I already have 1 Cassante, which is great. I've seen some other people with some 4 costs, which is great. Thin out the pool a little bit, make it easier to find those Akalis, right? Like this guy's holding the Volibear. And I'm just scouting, I'm just casually making sure, like, I'm trying to see if they high rolled anything with their level 7 shops just yet. Here, as you can see, I make a second Aatrox on the bench. Why did I do that? So I can buy sell the Aatrox. Aatrox is going to be on my final board. I'm not going for Aatrox 3. I'm not like going for the meme. It's not like, who gives a shit, right? The reason you hold the extra Aatrox, you make it, because now I have an upgraded Aatrox, and I can sell him so I can get my fruit remover, right? I didn't have to waste a fruit remover, because the fruits are really particular with Akali as well. There's a lot of them that are absolute dog shit. It's like every comp, like something you have to know this set so far is that every comp has like 1 fruit that's really good. And there's like 2 or 3 that are like okay, and the other ones are all dog shit. They're absolutely like, you click them, you will lose the game type of beat. So, like, for me with Akali, there's 1 or 2 that are okay. There's 1 that's really good, which is Crimson Veil. You know, some people can argue about some of the other ones being good, like some people like Dark Amulet, whatever. But, like, you know, we're going for Crimson Veil, or we're going for some sort of healing, because that's the only way my Akali is going to lose the round, is if I lose out because of that. Here I get flustered, by the way. I don't have a Jarvan, and I can't figure out who to remove. I want to play Forest Supreme Cell. If you saw, Loot Sub dropped me a Spat, and I found an Akali. I use my free rerolls, as you can see. I use all my free rerolls, and I'm going to be a little bit greedy here. I'm not going to roll to 0 because I'm not paired on anybody except Rise. So I'm going to wait 1 turn and then send it a little bit deeper because I found what I wanted to. I found one Akali, I found 1 Cassante, I need 1 Jarvan, and I found 1 Rise. So I'm going to settle with this. I forgot about the Zyra. I have a Zyra on my bench that I high rolled that I just found. There's no room for Zyra anymore because I need to play the Supreme Cells because I'm going to use the Spat. I'm going to make 4 Supreme Cell. 4 Supreme Cell is going to give this Akali so much damage amp that she is just going to hit like a truck. So it's actually going to make my Akali have like insane damage here. But as you can see, I kind of goofed it. I couldn't figure out who to remove because like my mechs are a little bit screwed up. And then I finally noticed the Zyra. So I'm going to sell the Zyra next turn. Obviously, I'm a little bit flustered from that. As you saw, I took a little bit of a couple seconds trying to figure out what to do with my board. So I'm probably going to lose this fight, right? I'm fighting against Jin 3 with the Jinx already. This guy also rolled. He rolled a little bit deeper than me. I'm going to make Econ here. I'm going to sell all the units I don't need. Poppy's a good unit to hold because she's a heavyweight. If you're not playing Darius, you can throw her in on some of these Akali boards. She's pretty flexible with the 4 costs. You just want to make sure you have enough front line to support her. So just hold all the 4 costs. Bronze for Life, by the way, really good with the Akali board, but you have to alter it to be not for Supreme Cell. It's usually like better if you're just playing like, it used to be a thing like with All Out Cassante, right? But I don't know if I'm going All Out Cassante because I don't have a second set of items for Cassante. If I had a second set of melee items on bench, I would take Bronze for Life, then you go for All Out Cassante, and then Akali, and then you have them as a dual carry. That's usually when Bronze for Life is good. I'm definitely not taking Call to Chaos because there's too many of these that are just a grief. Blazing Soul. my Akali has infinite damage jam from Supreme Cell. I'm for Supreme Cell. She has infinite attack speed and CC immunity with the items. And then she also has, what's it called? Crit. She has 100% crit, right? So what do I need? I need base stats. This gives her flat AP. So I'm just going to take that. Right? Easy. Easy clap. I could take it to Supreme Cell Circle. That's a bit of a meme because the item is wasted. But yeah, I just roll. I find all the Akalis that I need. GG. I don't know. Maybe the other guy maybe got unlucky. I got a little bit lucky. You know, that's TFT. But we're just rolling. I'm rolling now because I'm paired on Cassante. Basically, I'm looking for a Jarvan because Jarvan gives me strategies. It makes my board a lot better. And I'm rolling for Cassante because I'm Cassante paired. So I'm rolling for those two things, which is really nice. I'm also Ryze paired. Ryze might sound like a meme because, like, who cares about Ryze in this comp? I have a Supreme Cell emblem. This Ryze is going to be a monster. So I'm going to Supreme Cell my Ryze. It's going to be great. We'll be fine. But anyways, there we go. I put in for Supreme Cell. I'm going to sell this. I'm going to put on the Ryze. I'm fruiting my unit. Here I took Mage on Akali. Mage is one of those ones that's kind of okay. Basically, with this build for Akali, she has no healing. So if you don't give her healing, she will just die, and it could be very risky. But Mage makes her cast twice, so she just does a lot more DPS. So it kind of compensates for the fact that she's like very Glass Cannon E. Right? So just be aware. It's like that's one of the ones that are okay. The one we really want is Crimson Veil. Crimson Veil is usually the best one in this spot. Body change is good. Just get a shield on you and an ally. And it's just a lot of value for what it is. So we'll do that. Here I position my Akali well. I instantly got on the Jinx, and boom, the Jinx is dead. Right? If you position your Akali 2 hexes from the left or 2 hexes from the right, she'll jump to the backline corner. So in this case, I position on the same side, and I did fine. Because I'm Mage, by the way, I gave my Akali some survivability in case she dies. Protector's Vow gives her a health shield if she gets too low on HP. Additionally, I'm going to move Protector's Vow on Jarvan later because it's a really good Jarvan item. So of the tier items that I had, the only other thing I want to make is a Shiv. But Akali is usually trying to snipe backline units. So I feel like, you know, even though Shiv is really good, I think I can like delay my Shred until later because a lot of this is just dictated by my Akali killing the backline. Which I'm not going to get the Shred on anyways. And I'm not going to like wait with no items here. So I make Protector's Vow because it's good right now. Makes my Akali survive. And then it's also good to make my Jarvan cast later. So I can just put on the Jarvan later. Anyway, we find the Jarvan. So we're good to go. I'm still paired on Ryze and Cassante. So I have to decide when I want to roll basically. One of the players that I thought was going to play Akali ended up going for Mech. So there's one Mech player. And then the other guy is playing Akali. I don't know how much he hit because I hit pretty well. But we're in a good spot. We have the Akali too. We don't have damage issues. We have 4 Supreme Cell. We have a decent Prismatic, right? The attack speed is maybe a little bit eh. Maybe there's something better there. But from the options, I think I'm happy with everything that I have going for me right now. So we're just looking to scam. Here, I position well again. See, as you can see, if you position on this side, I instantly kill the Karma. GG. Doesn't matter how strong this guy is, he has no more fucking damage. Where's his damage? Oh, I can't see it. Maybe if we squint hard enough, we can find his DPS. Oh, yeah, that's right. My Akali just fucking one-tapped it. You know what I mean? That's how this comp works. You're basically trying to cheese your opponents and just trying to win out that way. So we're fine. It's all good. With these items, I'm probably going to try and make a Ryze item here if I can. Sword is probably going to turn to a Sterex for a frontline item, and then I still have to worry about Shred. I think here I make a mistake. I don't take a Shred component, which I probably should have. So I probably should take a Tear or a Bow here if I have that possibility. But I don't. I think I don't do that. So that's probably a mistake that we can look at. That right here I should take Tear. I think Tear is more important. What do I take? I take Cloak. Oh, sorry. I forgot that I needed QSS on my Akali. No, it's always Cloak there. It's just unfortunate because of 1 cost. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Yeah. I was gonna say that you need Shred eventually, but no. I want the QSS on the Akali first. Sorry. I completely forgot that I didn't have the QSS. So it's Cloak for QSS there, because now my Akali has stun immunity, and then we'll be fine. Also, you can see this, by the way. What I'm doing here, this is a little, maybe this, I don't know if this is like common or high level. I found a Yone on my roll down, a comp that is significantly stronger than the comp I'm playing right now and less RNG is Mighty Mech. So if possible, I could pivot to 7 Mighty Mech, and I could just play 7 Mighty Mech with the Akali. All I have to do is drop Cassante and the Supreme Cells, and I just play 7 Mighty Mech, 2 Supreme Cell. So it's possible, and I think that's going to be a stronger comp. However, somebody else is playing Mighty Mech, so it's really hard to hit those units, right? I don't have like a Karma and all of that stuff, but I'm considering it. That's why I'm holding on to the Lucian. Like, I'm reluctant to sell Lucian because he's going to be hard to find later. And that's why I'm holding on to the Yone. It's the same as if you're playing Sorks, right? If you're ever playing lines that use units that are, like, similar to units that you would see on a much stronger board, you're not, like, locked out of playing the strong board. You can always pivot into it later. It's just really expensive. Like, you have to do that from very ahead. Like, if I'm 100 streaking and I have 100 HP, you have more possibility to do those type of pivots. But that's why... Like, here you might look at it, you're like, why isn't he making Rise 2? Sell the Lucian, buy the Rise. It's because it's like, Lucian might not come back at this point. So, like, I think I'm strong enough from scouting, right? I'm fighting an Ezreal 3, like, who the fuck cares? I'm pretty sure I can beat everybody. This guy's Akali 1. This is unfortunate, but this guy also didn't roll on 4-1. I think this guy had more econ than me, and he rolled after me, which was really weird. But it is what it is. I don't really care. He got unlucky, I got lucky, whatever. So here I was positioning my Akali off center, like off the normal hexes, because I was trying to snipe the Ezreal player. Ezreal wasn't in the corner, it was one off the corner, so I moved my Akali 1 to the left. But here I should be fine. My Akali still doesn't have a good power up. As you can see, my Akali is not healing, but I just have way more damage, so I'm able to beat this guy pretty easily. If he had Akali 2, I would have lost this, because my fruit is just worse. So I need to reroll this fruit. Cassante will probably keep the fruit forever, and unless we have to really optimize. But as you can see, right now I'm just instantly rerolling it. So here, Thrill Seeker or Dark Amulet are the ones that are like okay. Some people say Dark Amulet is really good. I don't believe it. I think that it's really risky. And Thrill Seeker also is a little bit riskier. These are just worse versions of Crimson Veil in my opinion, because my Akali has enough damage, especially with 4 Supreme Cell, 3 Executioner. My Akali has enough damage. So getting more damage isn't the issue. We need survivability. So the only thing that really fits this type of build that I made is Crimson Veil, because I don't have survivability. I don't have Omnivam. So all the damage that my Akali takes, she will never heal it. She'll never shield it. She'll never have anything that helps her stay alive. So Crimson Veil is essential. Dark Amulet, it's like basically breaks even a lot of the time, right? The magic damage that you do versus the amount of true damage that you take on cast, and she casts a lot. It makes it really weird. Right? It's not like she's doing a lot of magic damage in between where like the cast like it kind of works out well. And Thrill Seeker, it's only on kills, so sometimes she doesn't get a kill for a second or two. She can just get bursted down and die. But either way, I'm gonna take Thrill Seeker just because I think that she'll be fine the way it is. This guy's scouting me, but he rolled after me, so like I don't know what to tell you. You gotta roll a turn earlier. I'm pretty sure this guy was richer than me, by the way, because he had good for something, and I was level 740, he was level 750. So he definitely had enough money to 4-1 it, and I don't think he did. So, you know, it is what it is. That 4-1 allowed me to find my first Akali. I also took Cassante on Carousel, and that guy didn't take Cassante on Carousel. And I found 2 copies of Rise on my roll down. So even if I didn't hit Akali 2, I would have probably been able to roll deep enough for Cassante Rise. And I would have still had some level of stability. I could have maybe pivoted to like Mech Rise and just dropped some of the Supreme Cells even in that case. Those would have been plan Bs. Here I saw the Yone, by the way. I'm just too far behind, I think. I just don't think I'll ever make it to that Mech Pilot pivot, which is what I was maybe angling. So I sell the Yone just to make econ, because I'd rather be able to make it to 9, basically. If I make it to 9, I could play Lee Sin. You can also play 2 copies of Akali. If I play 2 Akali 2s, it's just as good as 1 Akali, except now they have to deal with 2 of them jumping around. So this comp does really well with multiple copies of the same unit, basically. So could also do that. So level 9 is pretty good for me. It's pretty nice. So we're willing to go 9 here, because I think I have enough sustain and front line, and also as you can see, I'm pretty much leading in HP. So we made a good spot for ourselves. A lot of it is high roll. Obviously, I wouldn't be in as good of a spot if I didn't have Akali 2. We saw my shops, right? We all saw I instantly hit the Akali 2. That's what a lot of this comp relies on, right? It looks really powerful right now, but it looks really powerful because I hit Akali 2 instantly. If you don't hit Akali 2 instantly, look at the other guy that just went 8th instantly, right? That's why I say you never want to play it from a disadvantage. The other person that played it in this lobby, they played it from a full lose streak. Like, they were lose streaking for majority of the game. They were lowest HP in the lobby the whole game. They didn't hit Akali 2, they instantly died, right? If I didn't hit Akali 2, I at least have 66 HP. I can lose 1, 2, 3, or 4 rounds. Maybe I can still end up 5th, right? And then it just comes down to some coin flips, right? Here again, we're trying to position our Akali. Did not position Akali well this time. As you can see, I needed her where the Jarvan was. But this is the part of the comp that is toxic, right? What people don't talk about with this comp is that you can put Akali on one hex. I put the Jarvan on the other. So now if you look at my opponents, they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. They either have to tank an Akali ult, where they're positioning to getting hit by my Akali, or they're on same side as the Jarvan, and they're going to tank a Jarvan ult. So, you know, good luck, right? Watch my Jarvan. Ready? Akali's jumping around. Jarvan's going to jump in any second now. Okay, he jumped the wrong way. He jumped the wrong way because my Akali killed a backline unit. But if my Jarvan had another mana item, the Jarvan would have jumped and hit the Jinx. It didn't work out this fight, but that's what you usually do. You put Jarvan on one side, Akali on the other. Akali usually dashes and kills one corner. Jarvan jumps and stuns the other corner. And that's like your main way of stalling out. Then your Akali has enough time to do all the damage, and you just make it work. Also, you might notice I have only 2 items on Cassante, and I put the Protector's Vow on the Jarvan. I just think that Jarvan's one of those units where you can break the rules a little bit. He is so good at just swaying a fight instantly, because that stun just instantly can win you a fight, that you just want to have him cast. So the Protector's Vow goes on the Jarvan, and my Cassante 2 is going to have the other 2 items. I'm going to try and prioritize a 3rd item on him in the upcoming carousels. That's the best I can do. But you know, you could put all 3 items on Cassante, but then the Jarvan is basically useless. With 1 Protector's Vow, even a Jarvan 1 usually will get a cast off. That's why we're doing that. Anyways, I'm scouting around a little bit. Star Guardian player was a little bit scary, but I think I wasn't fighting a fully upgraded board, which was nice. Some of the other boards look scary, but I'm basically just trying to figure out which side I want to put my Akali on. Oh, look, I end up moving the Cassante. I end up moving the item anyways. I don't know if this is correct, but I think I'm just scared that my Cassante might die. I think it was just because the Jarvan didn't jump on the Jinx there. I think I just lost faith in the Jarvan. But you can easily just keep the protections on the Jarvan. But if you want to carry stack, you want to put 3 items on the same unit. Like, past me decided that was better. I would say either is fine. Because the Jarvan could sway the fight. I usually put it on the Jarvan anyways. But it's just a little bit risky. Here we position on the correct side. This guy's not moving at all. He also has a hard time moving, because he also has the strategist emblem in the back line. So when I saw this guy, I just said, okay, I'm just going to leave my Akali on one side. He probably won't. There's too many people alive. He probably won't see. And as long as I kill the Karma, I just instantly win. The mech is very strong because this guy made it to level 9 and 7 Mighty Mech. But he doesn't have enough upgrades yet to be a threat to me, basically. And now, as you can see, because we had some high roll spots and some good rounds, we are now just playing with house money, right? We have the coin flip advantage here. Because we're going around. We're pretty capped, right? It's a loot sub. We're 4 Supreme Cell. We made it to next level. I put in the Jarvan. I don't have Shred yet. I tried to make it with my components. I couldn't make it with my last item anvil. So I'm probably going to play Kog'Maw here over the second Jarvan. And now I have a little bit of Shred. This just makes it a little bit easier to chew through the tank, so my Akali doesn't get stuck in some situations. We're totally fine here. The main thing is that I have so much HP. So all of these players that have low HP, it doesn't matter how strong their board is, I can scam them. That's the thing. They have to be so strong to be anti-scammable, and they have to have really good positioning. Nobody here is positioning with anti-Akali technology. Check out today's guide video if you want to know more. Nobody's anti-Akali positioning. Nobody's really positioning in general for me at all. They're just cornering their carries and just being cannon fodder, but that's how it is on ladder, right? It's hard to, like, you know, a lot of people aren't taking the game as seriously and aren't focusing sometimes. So we're just scamming wins pretty easily. You know, it is what it is. And as you can see, this round pretty close, but then my Rise is gonna clutch up because I have Supreme Cell on Rise with decent items, not the best items, but decent items. And then I have Kog'Maw in. Eventually, I'll try and swap him out for a second Akali or a Lee Sin. Here, I'm not sure what to take, so I'm kind of far away. All my carries are itemized. I kind of like Wraith for Cassante, just because Cassante can sometimes clutch up when he goes into all-out mode, especially with the Wraith active. So I'm kind of down to just take that. I think another tank item would probably be better, but in my head, I'm just like, might as well. Like, whatever. Let's see how it goes. But here, I'm going to start collecting my Akalis, just in case I can hit a second Akali too. This guy's finding upgrades, so he's going to be really strong. This guy's still Jinx 1, so we don't care about him. Crystal Gambit died because Ashe sucks, so it is what it is. This guy I still haven't fought, but he's a little bit scary maybe because this Garen's going to be hard to deal with. But looking at the boards, the one I think I'm the most scared about is the Garen board. So I'm going to try and position my Akali for those sides where I'm basically going towards that corner. Here, it's just going to kill the Yuumi, so I'm not going to target the Ezreal, but it's fine. It's not the end of the world. And it's a win. It's like on the Ezreal, finally. But the more HP that I have, the more favorable this endgame is for me. Because if somebody is 1 HP, all I have to do is position well against them one time and I win. That's basically how it works. And likewise, they just have to mess up one time and they lose. Because that's how this Akali comp works. Now, obviously, if somebody is stronger than me and they have around the same HP than me, it won't be in my favor anymore. This happens a lot with Star Guardian boards because you can imagine Jinx with all the Star Guardian bonuses gets a lot of tankiness. She gets the extra recovery, she gets the extra shielding. So a lot of times the Akali, if you don't start on the Jinx will be able to tank a lot of future Akali ults and she'll be a little bit hard to chew through. And she also has really good one-shot potential. If she targets the Akali one time with her ult, especially if she's Gather Force, she'll just one-tap the Akali. Doesn't matter what fruits you have, doesn't matter what you have on the units. This guy positioned for me finally. As you can see, he put his Karma towards the center, so my Akali doesn't jump on her instantly. If you watch this fight, you'll see I basically didn't position for him. I lost this coin flip. I'm going to lose this round. Right? I've been steamrolling everybody, but as you can see, this is the first round I don't instantly snipe the carry, and I'm going to lose. See that? Bang. I lose. That's how this Akali comp works. That's what I'm saying. It looks really broken because I was really far ahead because I high rolled my Akali too. But if you're not sniping the backline carry, you just lose. I didn't kill the Karma instantly this time. I lost. GG. GG. Now, obviously, the Mighty Mech board is really strong, so they're going to do well, but GG. That's how it works, right? That's why I say you want to have the advantage. If I was 1 life, I'd be 4th right now. But I'm not 1 life. I'm 66 HP because I was able to farm a lot of people because I hit my Akali early. That's why I always say you want to play this comp from ahead. You want to play from an advantage. You don't want to be poor. You don't want to be low HP because that can easily happen, right? If that Karma player positioned better a couple fights earlier, there was a chance I lose those fights as well, right? And then I would be like 40 or 30 HP and everything would just be bad. Anyway, I'm trying to see if I go 10 here. I had Void Staff, by the way, so now I have Shred, so I can get rid of the Kog'Maw, and I'm just going to play around the Lee Sin. So we're good to go. I think I would rather put Morello on somebody else. I'm just not sure who. This is where removers become really scarce. That's why I was saying before, with these types of comps, I really want to save the removers. I put on Lee Sin originally, but I don't think I should have. Now I'm rolling for... Oh, wait, I'm rolling now. Why am I rolling now? I could have maybe tried to go 10. I could have maybe tried to go 10. I don't know why I started rolling. I think I was just rolling for Jarvan 2, I guess. But yeah, it's a little bit weird because I have this TG on this Darius that I probably want to move to somebody else. Like, I think the correct thing is if I hit Lee Sin 2, I want to TG Lee Sin 2. I just don't have a good Morello holder. Maybe I put on Senna. I just don't have another carry. Because ideally, you just have 3 items on Lee Sin. Executioner Lee Sin, he also, like, dives the backline and stuff. Like, so it's pretty good with Morello. This fight, we lost. I didn't position my Akali well at all. So I'm going for the Jhin here, but the Jinx is the real problem. Right? This guy's just playing Jhin for fun, basically, because he has Caretaker Jhin and played Star Guardian. As you can see, I never make it to the Jinx. She's going to one-tap the Akali. Right? Bang. Or one more. Bang. She's dead. And we lose the fight. And that's what I was saying, right? If they position better than me, right, you lose. But at the same time, this guy's only 1 HP. If I ever kill his Jinx first, I win the game. Because he's only 1 HP. That's the thing. So I can easily just beat that guy in 1 turn very easily. Here, I think I just gave up. I'm just rolling for Lee Sin Jarvan. Yeah, I think I just gave up on rolling for Jarvan 2, Lee Sin 2. Because I think the Mighty Mech player died now. And then I maybe can play Akali 2 over the Lee Sin, but I think Lee Sin 2 is better than a second Akali, because Akali really sucks without the extra items. And then here now, this is the awkward part. And I think I just Morello Jarvan. Yeah, I just put the Morello on Jarvan because I'm assuming he's gonna jump in, and then he just applies the Morello when he jumps in. I probably should have Morello Senna and then find a tank item for Jarvan. But it is what it is. This guy's playing some weird ass board. He's playing Garen, fucking Ezreal reroll. It's not a real comp. So this guy just kind of got lucky that a lot of the other players in the lobby weren't able to deal with his Garen. But I don't think this guy could ever beat me. Unless he hits Caitlyn 3 or something. Like, he's level 8 rolling for Katarina 3, Caitlyn 3. Like, there's basically no hope. Like, look at this. Like, come on. The real threat is a Star Garden player, right? Jinx board is stronger than me, for sure. The Jinx board is a stronger board than mine. But if I kill the Jinx instantly, I win. Now I have some fruit removers. I'm going to look for Crimson Veil. That's my best Akali fruit. My fruit isn't cutting it. I kind of forgot about it. Just left it around. We hit Crimson Veil. Now I just have to try and get the Jinx, right? It's like basically a 50-50. I'm always fighting the Jinx. The Jinx guy isn't scouting me, by the way, so I know that I'm fighting against a clone, so I'm not too stressed here. Or I don't know that I'm fighting a clone, but I can assume that I'm fighting a clone because he's not looking at my board a single time. And I'm the Akali player, so he's either like, you know, not paying attention at all, or he's not fighting me. And yeah, he's not fighting me, so it's fine. But yeah, this guy has like an impossible Poppy to kill. If I position well against him once though, I win, because as long as I kill the Jinx, I'm good. I also don't like his itemization because his Jinx is his main damage dealer. He has a Jhin 3, but he doesn't. His items are weird because he put attack speed and Shojin on Jinx, but he could easily just get rid of the Guinsoo, shove it on the Jhin, because who cares? The Jhin isn't doing any damage anyways, and he can have like triple good item on Jinx. He could have IE Giant Slayer Shojin, but he didn't do that, so he's not playing optimal. But it's okay, it's fine. Here I just take a tank item because I don't know what to do with my life. It would have been nice if I didn't slam my component on Jarvan. I could have taken a tank item and put on Jarvan. But here I just take expensive tank item. I didn't want to take the Aatrox because it's only 1 gold, so I just take Anima Visage. It would have been good on Jarvan, my bad. I think if I had more removers, see, I wasted the removers on the Lee Sin. If I didn't waste the 2 removers to fix up this Lee Sin to put TG on Lee Sin 2, if I had 2 removers, I would have put Protector's Vow on Jarvan, Anima Visage on the Cassante, and then I would have had like semi-tank items on the Jarvan and some good setup, and then I would have had something here, and then Morello, I probably would have put on Senna if I was smarter, but I put on Jarvan because I'm an idiot, but it's fine. Now this is just make or break, right? I have 40 HP to beat this guy 1 time. If I kill this Jinx player, I basically can go first this game, because all the other threats have been eliminated. I'm pretty sure this Jinx player is so strong that he killed the Mighty Mech guy, by the way. So this guy killed Mighty Mech for me. Mighty Mech would have been really hard because there's so many units on that board that my Akali's going to have a hard time trying to find the right units to kill. And the Mech is a frontline unit, so the Akali scamming the backline doesn't matter as much in 7 Mighty Mech. But this guy is scammable. As long as I kill this Jinx, I win. So I'm looking around. I put my Akali on one side. He's not really moving. I don't know what's going on. I just move it back, and he just doesn't do anything. I don't know. GG, I guess. Oh, he moved the Guinsoo off the Jinx. Okay, so he made his board a little optimal. Anyway, I win. GG. He didn't position for me. Right, but that's the problem. He has 1 HP. I have 40 HP. That's what I'm saying. If he only had to beat me 1 time, it's favorable, but it's not, right? So that guy, he was definitely the strongest in the lobby. He deserved to go first, but Akali scams the victory 1 more time. That's how this comp kind of works. And then you can imagine that obviously this guy with like fucking Ezreal 3 isn't gonna win. So, you know, let's just skip the fight, and yeah, GG. That's Akali. But what does it boil down to? It boils down to good items. It boils down to good augments, cohesive builds. You gotta high roll your Akali, right? If you're trying to get a first, you really gotta high roll the Akali. If you don't high roll the Akali, it's a fucking GG. Look at the guy that went 8th, right? The comp isn't that broken, right? It's not like you can stabilize with an Akali 1. You're just gonna die to all the Jinx players, and then you just need to position well. You saw the fights that I lost. My board was completely outclassed. It just comes down to if Akali instantly targets the backline carry and kills them. But anyways, hope that was a fun VOD review. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and see ya. Bye bye.